Hi everyone, it's Allison from the product sales team, and today we're going to be walking through how to wrap up the 2018 cookie program. So I know it's been a bit of a journey here, but we are almost ready to see where we are as far as our girls hitting their goals and doing some celebrating as well. So we're going to be focusing mostly on eBuddy, but I did want to just bring you in to our website first, right here, gsfct.org, to bring you into our cookie resources page here, so cookie volunteer resources. Because I just wanted you to see that there are some written instructions to wrapping up your sale as well. These were sent out through eBuddy several weeks ago, but in case you would like to print out these instructions here so that you can sort of use them as we go through the webinar today, you're more than welcome to do that. Or if you just want to have them as a reference, they're here as well. So they are the goal getter and boot sale instructions, and they're going to be addressing the same things that we're going to be talking about today, which are essentially assigning goal getter and boot sale cookies, taking a look at the transactions tab in the sales report, ordering final rewards, and also selecting the troop proceeds option for your troop. So just a few things that we want to take care of. I'll also be talking a bit about the top troop form as well as the connection reward between the QSP and cookie programs. So we are going to get started by logging into eBuddy. My slew of fake email addresses here. I just want to be able to show you all exactly what you can see. I don't want you to see all the stuff that I can see on the council level here, just because it's a little overwhelming. Okay, so I moved into Troop 64159. So we are going to do a couple things here to begin with. So the first thing we're going to do is go into our settings page. Now, if you are a leader or a cookie manager for girls who are juniors, cadets, seniors, or ambassadors, you should have already been talking to your girls about if they are taking the rewards or if they are taking the additional proceeds. This is a cadet troop, so they have the option. I can tell you that this is actually the troop that I volunteer with, and they decided that they want the rewards. But if we were going to change the rewards, we would go ahead and do that here. So let me just back up because I did not tell you what I just did here. So we're going to click on the Edit Settings tab. And then we would go right to this box. So right now it says you will receive rewards. If we check this box to opt out, it will change to you will receive additional proceeds. So please just make sure that that is selected if that is what the girls have chosen to do. This is important because how much money the girls, what the proceeds are for each box is going to be calculated into what the troop actually owes the council for their final payment. So you want to make sure that all of that is situated correctly before the payment is actually initiated. So I'm going to just uncheck this so that I can leave the troop as it was, but we would just press update if you were to actually go ahead and make that change for additional proceeds. By this point, all of the girls should be listed in eBuddy here. If you did by chance have another girl who joined your troop fairly late here in the program, you would be able to enter her first name and last name here, and then press the ID button to generate an ID for her in eBuddy. That ID is going to look a little bit different than the girls who already had their IDs uploaded into the system, but that's okay. And then you would also go ahead and select their grade. If you did need to make any updates, again, you would go ahead and select the Update tab. We're going to abandon our edits because we didn't actually make any. The initial order tab is locked. It has been for several weeks, but if you wanted to take a look at it, just to review, I know that we actually, in my troop, we actually looked at it the other day because we were trying to remember how many extras that we had started with so that we could see, okay, we picked up this many from the cupboard and we had this many extras, and what did our girls actually end up selling for their post-initial sales for goal getters and for boot sales. So you're more than welcome to use this just as a reference, but you won't actually make any changes here. It's locked for all of us, even those with council level access. Delivery is well behind us, so we don't actually need this tab for anything. The tabs that are really important that we want to look at now are the girl order tab, the transactions tab, the rewards tab, and the sales report tab. So I'm actually going to start with the transactions tab here. This tab lists all of the cookies that have been assigned to your troop. So if you had any cookies that first of all, the initial order is listed here. If you had cookies that you picked up from the cupboard, those would be listed here as well. And if you had any cookies that customers had ordered to be shipped directly for digital cookie sales, those would be listed on this tab as well. This troop did have some digital cookie sales, but they were all in-person delivery, so they're not listed here. So these are just actual physical boxes of cookies that the troop has taken possession of. What you will not see here are any of your Cookies for Heroes boxes, because those are recorded on the Girl Order tab, and we'll show you how to do that in just a second. So the important thing here for the Transactions tab is that everything is accurate, that you're not missing anything. This would be a really good time to take a look at those receipts that you got from the cupboards, pull those out of your folder or your binder. I actually have them in my wallet for you to take a look at and see, okay, yes, yep, that makes sense. We picked up these cookies on this date. Yes, those were entered correctly. Okay, we returned our 3 cases on that date. That's all set, and then everything makes sense. If you do by chance see something that either is entered inaccurately or if there's an entry that is missing, you're going to want to contact your cupboard manager where you picked up those cookies as soon as possible because they're going to need to go ahead and make that transaction. I can tell you that our cupboard managers are very, very good about getting their transactions in a timely manner, and they all should probably be in here. But, you know, if you just picked up cookies today or something, they might not be listed, but you just want to make sure that everything is up to date in there before the final payment is initiated on the 9th of April. All right, so we're happy with what we've got here as far as transactions, so I don't need to contact anybody, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into the Girl Orders tab. The Girl Orders tab is where we want to make sure that all the girls are getting credit for every box of cookies that they received. So our troop has assigned most of the cookies so far. We still have 34 boxes that need to be assigned. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to assign these cookies. So we're going to do goal getters first, and then we're going to go ahead and do boot sales. So I'm going to use Nydia here because she's the closest one on my screen. So you will see that we already assigned for boot sale cookies here. So she had, and actually this is in the wrong column, and I did that. So let me just move this over here really quickly so that we have the correct order here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a goal getter transaction. So to do that, again, we clicked on Nydia. Now these are all of Nydia's sales. So she has her initial order, which again is locked. No changes can be made to the initial order. And now we're going to go ahead and enter a goal getter order. So usually how I like to do this is to put goal getter and then the date that they were picked up. So let's say she picked up today. This, especially if you have girls in your troop who submit multiple goal getter orders, this would be a good way to go ahead and do that. So again, you have covered tickets or receipt or a receipt booklet for your troop that you would have had the parents sign when any of these cookies were picked up. So if you want to go ahead and pull those out, those are a good guide as far as making these entries. So let's say that this was, we only have 34 boxes here to play with. So let's just say this was a smaller goal getter order. The goal getter orders are entered where it says cookie other in this column here and special other. Any cookies that are $5, so Savannah Smiles, Trefoils, Do-si-dos, Samoas, Tagalongs, and Thin Mints, any of those boxes are listed under the cookie other. Now you'll see that you don't need to do anything by variety of cookies here. The initial order tab, you did have to enter the specific type of cookie. On the goal getter order tab, you don't need to do that. You just need to keep the $5 and $6 boxes separate. That way your girl's amount due for those boxes calculates correctly. So if she sold, let's say, 3 Trefoils and 2 Thin Mints, so that's 5 that we would put in under cookie other. And she also sold 2 boxes of s'mores. Now, because the s'mores and Toffee-tastic are $6, that's a different price point, those go under special other. So we would put her 2 boxes here, and we would press OK and save. I like to save under every transaction. You can also add a payment. So you could add a payment for those goal getter boxes. You could add a payment that was received for her initial order cookies. This is just a good way to sort of keep track of funds as they come in. So if we needed to do the payment for her boxes, let's say her goal getter boxes, I would click add payment. Now, of course, she might not have given the payment to you because she's just getting the cookies. But let's say, for example, this is a couple days later, and she has come to drop off payment. So I would say, goal getter 4-2 payment as my label here. And I would just type in, yes, that I received the $37 for those boxes of cookies, and then save. So again, you have the option to enter a transaction, which is for boxes of cookies, or to enter a payment, which is for, cash and checks received for those boxes of cookies. Now, the booth sale cookies work similarly. We would just use a different column. So as you can see, what we did here, I'm just going to open up the transaction. We had a booth at Stop and Shop. So if you have more than one booth at the same location, you might want to put the date next to it, or Stop and Shop 1 or Stop and Shop A. You can go ahead and do that. For this troop, there was one booth at Stop and Shop and one booth at Walmart. So we just left it at Stop and Shop and Walmart, plain and simple. So what happens here is we're going to record the Cookies for Heroes boxes, the booth boxes, both the $5 and the $6 that are sold at the booth sale. So these were all zeros to begin with here across the bottom. So I'm going to actually go ahead and zero those out so that we have an accurate picture of what this looks like. So when you open up your screen here and you were to click on that new transaction like we did last time, that's where you would enter in the name of the booth. Now, we kept track at our booth, which I'm sure you all did, of how many Cookies for Heroes boxes, were sold for each girl. So we happened to have 5 girls present at that cookie booth, and there were 5 boxes sold. So, there were 10 boxes sold. So we were able to give 2 boxes to each girl. So I would go ahead and I would enter 2 under the CFH, which stands for Cookies for Heroes column. Okay. Then she sold 30 boxes. When we split these up now, there were 30 boxes per girl of $5 cookies that were sold, and then 1 box per girl of $5 cookies that were sold. So she's now receiving credit for a total of 33 boxes of cookies. Now, these were paid for. They were at the cookie booth. Money was collected, obviously, at the point that the sale took place. So we know that these were paid for. So you can go ahead and just enter in the money collected for those boxes, and then go ahead and click Save. You'll see that there's a lot of lines here. So there's no limit to how many boxes that you can, to how many transactions you can record under a single girl's tab. So again, some girls have one big goal getter order, and they might have a couple small ones. Others, they're sending you an order twice a week for more cookies. And so sometimes this list could look a little bit longer. Other times it might be shorter. Now we're going to go back to the summary tab so you can see the difference line here at the bottom of the screen. This is going to change. This is going to change every time you go ahead and assign boxes of cookies. So this was 34, but we assigned 7 boxes of goal getter cookies to Nydia. So now this has dropped down to 27. The goal is to assign every box of cookies that the troop has sold, that's been assigned to the troop, to the girls who sold them. So whether those are booth sale boxes or goal getter orders, we want to go ahead and make sure that the girls are getting credit for every box that's received. When you add in Cookies for Heroes boxes like we did for the booth, in my example, Nydia didn't have any Cookies for Heroes boxes in her goal getter order, but many of your girls might have those. Those don't change anything that's on the difference line, because this difference line here is just based on the physical box of cookies that your troop receives. So even if you were to put 37 Cookies for Heroes boxes in under a girl right now, it's not going to do anything to this line. These are for actual physical boxes of cookies. So again, the goal is to get this down to 0. If you do have, maybe at the end of the sale, maybe you've got 2 boxes left that you did not sell, you can still go ahead and allocate those to a girl, especially if those 2 boxes are going to be the difference between her, moving up to the next rewards level or something like that. It's also really important, even for troops who are taking additional proceeds, to please allocate every box of cookies. That's because the girls receive credit for the boxes sold towards their patches, towards their cookie credits, and towards rewards at the 750 box level and higher. So we definitely want to make sure that those girls are getting the proper reward, the proper cookie credits and patches that reflect their actual sales this cookie season. All right, so let's say that we had assigned all of our boxes. We haven't done it yet because I'm not gonna go through every girl here. But let's say that we had assigned all these boxes. Then we would be all set to go ahead and do our rewards order. So we're gonna do that on the rewards tab. So you'll see there's two different types of rewards, initial rewards and final rewards. So if you wanted to just take a look, you're more than welcome to view the initial rewards, just as a reminder of what the girls earned. You should have received these rewards already from your service unit cookie manager. If you have not picked up these rewards just yet, I would please encourage you to do so and get them out to your girls as soon as possible. We can't make any changes to this here, but if you haven't received them yet, or if you haven't passed them out yet, this is where you're going to want to take a look to see who actually receives what items. What we want to do is our final reward order, and we're going to do that and press fill out. Okay, so there's a few different things that we need to talk about here. So we're going to go ahead and do the obvious that's in bright red here. If you have girls who sold 150 boxes or more and your troop is taking rewards, you need to select a t-shirt size for them. So I'm just going to go ahead in here. You're going to click on the girl. And you'll see here at the 150, the Seize the Day t-shirt has all of these different sizes listed in it. So I'm just going to go ahead and select adult small, and you'll see that once that's selected, eBuddy will automatically check this box off that the size is all set. You can also take a look and review this. So this is just good to know exactly what reward level that the girl is getting up to. So for Audrey, for example, here, she is earning rewards up to the 150 box level. Now, sometimes you might say, okay, I thought that Audrey was at 204. What's going on here? That's when you might want to go ahead, again, if you haven't taken a look at those slips yet, your receipts that you've been using for your troop, perhaps you accidentally, instead of putting something under Audrey's name, you put it under Sabrina's name by accident, for that goal getter order. So it's just a good way to check and make sure that the numbers that eBuddy has for these reward orders are jiving with your memory of exactly what these girls have earned. So we're going to go ahead, and once we've selected that, we would submit the girl order. If you have girls who are selling at the 500 box level and above, there are also some reward choices between an experience or an item earned at a few of those different levels. And then there's also some that require a selection between Girl Scout Camp experience and a specific item. So you're just going to want to make sure if you see those in there that you please check with the girl and her parent. Please do not just pick a random item for her or make the choice for her, because we just want to make sure that, the girls worked really hard to sell all these cookies, and we want them to receive the reward that they were working so hard to earn. So we're all set on Audrey, so I'm going to go ahead and say submit girl order. And you'll see now in green that the size/selection was done and that she's pretty much all set. You would go through and do the same thing for the other girls in your troop who require those edits. We also need to enter in the gift of caring patches for the girls. So because of the way that Cookies for Heroes and Gift of Caring works is that in eBuddy, if a troop is participating in a local Gift of Caring project, so if your troop decided that you wanted to donate cookies to the food bank or to the first responders at the firehouse and the police station, you can go ahead and do that. There's just nowhere to record that in eBuddy. So eBuddy is not actually sure if your troop, or if the girls in your troop earn patches or not. So for all troops, we just ask that you please go ahead and order those Gifts of Caring patches. So you might need to go back and take a look at your girl order tab and see sort of what is going on in there. But we're going to go ahead and order the 6 patches that this troop needs here. You will see that up until about the first week in April, so up until the middle of next week, the Cookie Tech patch is not going to be recorded in here. So we've actually gotten a lot of inquiries about this of, oh yeah, I know that, these 2 girls in my troop sent 15 emails, or this girl sent 25 emails, and it's not showing up in the patch. So eBuddy Digital Cookie doesn't close until March 31st. And so girls can send emails, that entire time. So I'm actually recording this on the 30th. Digital Cookie won't close until the end of the day tomorrow. And then we won't be able to upload the patches into eBuddy until Monday or Tuesday of next week. So you'll see right now that every single troop, so if you even have 2 troops that you're a manager for, that everybody has 0 right now for their quantity under the Cookie Tech Pass. But that will change. You're more than welcome to check back next week at the end of this first week in April coming up on us to make sure that everything, the patches are in there for your girls, but they just aren't going to be in there right away, and that's okay. All right, so we're going to take a look here, and yep, everything looks good. Looks like our highest score right now is at the 400 box level, so we don't have to worry about anything down here at these higher levels. Once you are confident that you have selected all of your t-shirt sizes and that you've got your correct gift of caring patch, you can go ahead and submit your order here. I'm not going to do that today because I still need to select t-shirt sizes for some of the girls in here, but you would want to go ahead and submit this information. Once you do, you'll get a box that will pop up and say that you can only enter once. Are you sure you want to submit? And you can click yes, and then your rewards will be ordered for the girls in your troop. We're going to move over now to the deposits tab. The deposits tab is important because it shows all of your deposits from Digital Cookie. And once we're going to be uploading again next week, the initial payments in here that were the payments that were initiated back on March 23rd. So you will see under your deposit tab, payments, you will see the payments from Digital Cookie. You will see the first payment initiated by the council for your troop, and you will also see any boost sale bonuses that your troop earned. So this troop did not pre-order cookies. We only ordered 2 cases of cookies. If you order 20 cases or more, then you will see something on this tab on one of the lines here that says pre-order boost bonus and the amount of money that was credited to the troop's sale here, essentially, for that bonus. So that just take a look and make sure everything looks okay in here and that everything makes sense to you. The sales report is where we're going to see a couple different things. So again, you'll see all your transactions, you'll see the deposits made, and then you'll see the amount that is due to the council. So right now, because the initial payment is not in here, it's still a little bit high here, but this will go down as soon as that initial payment gets uploaded. And that amount you owe council section right here, that's going to be the amount of the payment that's going to be initiated on April 9th. So April 9th is the important day here for payments. You are going to need to get all of your eBuddy entries all set, so allocating all of your boxes and also submitting your rewards by 11:59 p.m. on April 4th. So that's an important day. 2 important dates coming up. April 4th for eBuddy entries, and April 9th is when the payment will be initiated from the troop's account. So just if you don't have those written down, now is a good time to do that so that you remember, sort of when everything needs to be taken care of. I will say though, if, on the 5th or the 6th, you realize, oh my gosh, I totally forgot, there's this one thing, you can definitely let your service unit cookie manager or your product sales manager know, maybe you forgot to put in the last 2 cookies for Heroes boxes underneath a girl. We still have some access in the system after the 4th, but it would be best if we could, if all of our troops could get all of their entries completed and all set by the end of the day on April 4th. So the other thing that we need to take care of here is if your troop qualified for top troop. So the requirements for that were in the cookie program troop guide that you received back at the beginning of the program. And we do have a form, an online form that's going to be submitted for that. So the first qualification for top troop is if your troop has a per girl selling average of 125 boxes or more. So you will see under PGA selling, that is what we are looking at. So this particular troop has a per girl selling average of 164 boxes. The actual form is going to be up on the Cookie Resources page down in this area at the beginning of the week next week. So it will probably be up on Monday, April 2nd for troops to fill out. but I can show you what the link looks like right now because we do have it. This link has gone out in the cookie recipe, and it was forwarded out to service unit cookie managers either last week or the beginning of this week. So please, if you are looking for it now, you can go ahead and just ask, just use it in the cookie recipe, use the link that was sent to you, or ask your service unit cookie manager for it. But otherwise, it should be up on the website shortly. So this form is due by Wednesday, April 11th. So we want to make sure that everybody has it in. We don't want anybody to miss out on this opportunity. The top troop reward is actually a shop credit. So if you meet all the requirements that we're going to go through in just a second, then you will earn 5 cents per box in store credit. So that is to be used at one of our Girl Scout shops. So what we would do is to fill out this, we would go and look at the 3 mandatory requirements. So we already knew that our average was high enough, so we would actually go ahead and put in the average here. If we knew that, yes, we had submitted our electronic payment form and the payment went through, we would go ahead and click that as well. And then also that the girls must have participated in the initial order taking portion of the program, which yes, this troop did, so they are all set here. Then there's two requirements that the troop should have been working towards. So for this particular troop, we had set our troop sales goal, which was actually to try to hit the amount to get to this. So our troop sales goal was to have a 125 box average, because this particular troop is bridging next year, and we have a lot of things that we need to get from the store. So we were really working towards getting this reward. And then we also did hold a cookie booth, and we took a couple pictures at that booth as well. So if you had selected that your troop is doing the reward, setting the goal as part of earning this reward, this is where we would put in the goal here. And so our goal was to have 125 box average. And our plan for using it is to purchase the items that we need to move into Senior Girl Scouts, and also any additional funds to put towards a troop camping trip next year. This is also where we would upload the image. If we had clicked off on this requirement, we would go ahead and upload. And then at the bottom, we just need to go ahead and put in your service unit name, the troop number, the person who is submitting the form, and then just some contact information in case there are any questions moving forward. Once that's completed, you'll be able to hit the submit button. I'm not going to do this for this troop right now, because I need to actually get the pictures from the booth onto this computer so that I can go ahead and do that. But this is what the form looks like. So definitely, again, it will be up on the website shortly, but it did go out in the blast of the cookie recipe last week. There's one more thing I want to actually show you on the sales report that I forgot to do just a few minutes ago, and that is to take a look at your proceeds. So there's a couple things going on in this section here. So the first thing we want to take a look at are our troop proceeds rate. So we're at 85 cents a box. Everybody is at 85 cents to start here. This is the base proceeds. So everyone starts at 85 cents. It will say 85 cents. If your troop selected no rewards, this is where you would see the additional 10 cents. Okay, we did not take additional proceeds. We are keeping, we are doing the rewards. That's what the girls voted to do. So ours is 0 right here. Okay, because it's either going to be 0 if you're taking rewards, or 10 if you're taking additional proceeds. Now the tiered rate, this is where people get a little bit tripped up. So I just want to make sure that this is explained to you in detail. So a lot of times people will see this 85 cents and say, oh my goodness, I'm supposed to be getting additional proceeds because we are over 100, or we are over 150 in our pro bowl selling average. Yes, that's true. You will see that additional monies down here under tiered rate. So if someone is over 100 but under 150 box per gross selling average, then this tiered rate will say 0.05. If the troop is over 150, then the rate will say 0.10. So that's where this troop is right now, because the average is 164. Is that what it was? Yes, 164 boxes per girl. So that will say the additional 10 cents. This section where it says tiered proceeds, those are the additional funds that the troop is earning from the tiered proceeds. So that makes sense because we're at 10 cents a box, sold 1,479 boxes of cookies, so $147.90. eBuddy is taking that that into consideration when it's calculating the amount due for the troop. You'll see it also over here under specialty. eBuddy just has to split up this way so that this cookie section is for boxes that are $5, the specialty section is for boxes at $6, but it will just go ahead. Obviously, a box is a box when it comes to Girl Scouts of Connecticut, so it's the same information, but it just is listed here twice. For top troop, again, that's the form that I just showed you. You won't see this prior to the payment, but that's okay because this has nothing to do with your payment. Again, that's in shop credit. So that will be a certificate that is mailed out to the troop, to one of the adults listed in eBuddy for shop credit. So you won't see this when you close out your sale by April 4th, but you will receive the certificate in the mail. We have it open until the 11th because we want everyone to have enough time to be able to go ahead and submit that information. Now, this is where you're going to see generic proceeds 2, and this is for the QSP connection. So if you might recall back in the fall, and then we also reviewed it at training, there was a special reward that troops could sell for having $120 per girl selling average in the QSP program and a 125 box average for girls in the cookie program. This information is going to be uploaded into eBuddy by the end of the day next Saturday. So you will see that on the 7th. The 7th is next Saturday. I did a little math in my head there. So you'll see that there. So if you want to check back, if you know that you were one of those troops who had that $120 per girl selling average in QSP, and you want to go ahead and take a check back on this sheet at the end of the day, Saturday evening, maybe Sunday or Monday, we'll go ahead and upload that, and then that will be taken into consideration when eBuddy does the calculation for your final payment as well. So honestly, I probably would not go ahead and take a look back at my sales report for as far as the payment amount until the end of the day on Saturday, because that's when we'll have uploaded all of the we'll have all the initial payments uploaded in there. We'll have all of the QSP and cookie connection reward information uploaded in there, and everything will sort of be all set to go. So moral of this story is nobody panic if you don't see this or the top troop in here. If you're taking a look at it early in the week, you will not see top troop in here before you go ahead and submit your troop, and this will not be in here until by the end of the day on Saturday. Again, I always think it's a good idea you can never take too many looks at this, so please do take a look on, before or on the 9th to make sure everything looks okay on your sales report. Now, the other thing that we would just want to talk about is sort of how the rewards and how these cookie credits and top troops how this kind of works. So a couple things to keep in mind. The actual physical rewards that are ordered from Little Brownie Baker are going to be sent to your service unit cookie manager. So she will receive those usually mid-May-ish, and she or she will let you know how to get those rewards. So sometimes people bring them to a service unit meeting. Sometimes people say, pick them up at my home on, X day and time. So however that manager wants to distribute those rewards, just keep an eye out on Rallyhood or in your email to see exactly how that's being communicated within your service unit. The cookie credits and the top troop certificates will be mailed out from the product sales office in the beginning of May. So those are going to go to one of the adults that's listed in eBuddy. So please make sure if you have somebody listed in eBuddy as, let's say, the troop cookie manager, or even as a leader who's no longer active in your troop, please make sure that you actually remove them from the system, because we definitely don't want this top troop certificate and or any cookie credits going to someone who's no longer associated with your troop. And you can go ahead and do that by clicking on the settings tab here, clicking edit settings, and then removing anybody who's no longer active with your troop, okay? Those will be mailed out, like I said, in May. They do have an expiration date. They will expire at the end of September. So it's really important that the adult who receives these for the troop has a way of getting these to the girl. We want them to get them before school is out and before your meetings end for the summer. So please just make sure, please keep that in mind. We cannot accept them past the expiration date. So we want to make sure that all the girls receive them. Same for Top True. Please do not wait until the very last minute to use those certificates. We definitely want everybody, again, especially the cookie credits that the girls earn. They work so hard to earn. We want them to have enough time to be able to come into the shop and pick out the items that they would like, with those cookie credits. If girls have chosen to use those cookie credits towards summer camp, they actually do double in value. So, and they'll be looking for those to complete their registration for camp. So it's also really important, even if they're not going to the shop, if they're going to Girl Scouts of Connecticut summer camp, that they receive those items. If you have girls at the 500 or 750 box level, they will be going to, if they select the experience at 500, it's a day at Mystic Aquarium on a designated day, and at 750, it's a day at Lake Compounds also on a designated day. The product sales department will be in contact with those girls. There are no tickets that are going to be mailed out or anything like that, but we will be in contact with those girls and make sure that they have all the information. If we cannot get a hold of a girl, if we have emailed, if we have called, if we just cannot get a hold of a family, we will reach out to the troop leader or troop cookie manager to make sure that we can get this information to these families so that they don't miss out on the opportunities that they work so hard to earn. We'll also be in touch with the girls at the 1,000 box level regarding the CEO event at the Mystic Art Museum, and also with the girls at 1,300 and 1,600 to confirm if they're taking the tech items or if they are going ahead and using their free week at camp, day camp at 1,300 and resident camp at 1,600. So you don't need to worry too much about doing anything with actual physical rewards at those levels. We will handle that, but it is really important that those are selected under that rewards tab that we went over earlier. So I would just direct you one more time back into the Cookie Volunteer Resources page on our website. Just take a look here if there's anything that you're still a little bit not quite as familiar with, if there's anything that you still have questions on. Also, if you don't have the hard copy of your troop guide, that is on here. There's some really good information, again, about those final rewards. There's some good information in the back about how finances are handled as well. So that's something that people are generally taking a look at this time of year. So I would encourage you, if you do have any questions after watching this webinar, to please reach out to your service unit cookie manager or to your product sales manager. You can also just email us generally at productsales@gsofct.org, and we will be happy to answer any questions. On behalf of the entire product sales team, I just want to thank you for all of the time and effort that you have given to the cookie program this year. I know especially this year, these post-initial sales and go-getters and booth sales have been phenomenal. We've had cookies just flying out of our cupboards. So thank you for helping the girls to work towards their goals, and we all hope it's been a rewarding and enjoyable experience for you as well. All right, so until next time, guys, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.